sacrifice system too. Not that people are doing it today. Some religions, I guess, do offer animal sacrifices, but the idea that God told them to do it is what we're trying to understand here. Let's go to this next one now. Thus saith the Lord, heaven is my throne and earth is my footstool. What manner of house would you build for me, and where would be the place of my rest? My hand has made everything, and thus it came to be, says the Lord. I will look favorably upon that man who is humble, feels Christ in spirit, and trembles at my word, rather than on him who slays an ox as though he slew a man. Now, if you read that in the King James, it's really stronger than it is in this modern translation. He's saying that whoever kills an animal, God looks upon this as just the same as killing a human being. Who sacrifices a sheep as he would break a dog's neck? Who brings a cereal oblation as if it were the blood of swine? Who presents frankincense as though he were worshiping idols? And Paul says idol worship is demon worship in the New Testament. They certainly have chosen their own ways and delight in their abominations. Here God calls it an abomination. Indeed, I have decided their calamity. What they dread I will bring upon them, because when I called, no one answered, and when I spoke, they did not listen. They did what was evil in my eyes, and chose what was displeasing to me. Isaiah 66, 1-4. You ought to read that very carefully, friends, because that was what got Stephen in trouble in the New Testament. You remember the martyr Stephen, chapter 7 of Acts. He read some of these scriptures to the people. He quoted them, and he made application to them. He quoted Amos. And the people became so angry when he was showing them that God didn't want them to kill animals in the Old Testament that they stoned Stephen. That's the real reason he was stoned to death, because he was condemning and exposing the animal sacrifice system for what it really was. Here God takes the blame for what they are doing to themselves and what Satan would do to them as they move farther away from God and his will for their lives. The King James uses the word delight in verse 4 instead of displeased. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices and eat flesh. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people, and so forth. This was the verse in the King James that I was referring to up here earlier. In a verse in Isaiah, I think we already quoted it before, where he says that very categorically that he never commanded them to kill animals. Where time is slipping away again. It doesn't seem like it's been 30 minutes, but it really has. And I'm very pleased to have been with you for this short visit on the character of God, especially on the animal sacrifice system of the Old Testament. In these two books that I showed you at the beginning, I deal extensively with these subjects, and I'll be glad to send them out to you free of charge if you write to God's Last Call, Post Office Box 426.